channel for that because these both happened in Utah. And I thought it was just really strange because I myself have no less than 5 missing male cases going around in my area within the last 6 months. Like, what is going on? It always seems like it's always the younger females and you worry about trafficking and stuff, but seems like it's a lot of young men going missing lately. So anyway, I bumped Casey's case up so that I could get it out as quickly as possible. Now, I couldn't find much about his background or his family or anything like that. This is mostly just the details of what happened earlier this year when Casey went missing. So let's talk about it. Cornelius Frederick Bokslag was born in January of 1993 to his parents Elizabeth and Robert, that at about 11:40 a.m. on Monday, June 6th, a security camera captured Casey leaving his apartment in South Salt Lake. He was all by himself. He had on a black backpack, and he had like a little bread bag with him. And it looked to Robert as though he was going to work to do the training he had previously mentioned. Although this training was virtual, so technically Casey did not have to go into the office to complete it. Casey never made it to work that day. Upon further investigation, the police discovered that at about 11:50 a.m., cameras captured Casey withdrawing $100 from a Wells Fargo ATM in Salt Lake City, just a couple of minutes away from his job. And this is the last time that Casey was seen. Now, according to Robert, this is also around the last time that Casey's cell phone was on, and it is also the last time that his bank account was used in any way. Now, Robert was immediately alarmed when he got a call from Casey's boss on Wednesday, June 8th. He describes Casey as a really reliable person, and that is also why the boss immediately called his dad. Now, I don't know if the boss got into the paperwork and found Robert's information, or if they knew each other or what, but the boss calls Robert and he says, "Hey, Casey didn't show up for work. Do you know what's going on?" Casey wasn't the kind of person that would be late or just no call, no show. He was the kind of person that would call if he was even 5 minutes late to dinner, according to his parents. Robert immediately gets in his car and goes to Casey's apartment. And he notices that Casey's car, a silver Suzuki SX4, is not in the parking lot of his apartment complex. And since he didn't have a key to his son's apartment, Robert had to ask for assistance from the manager company. And the rental office told him, "If you call the police, we can give them a key." So at 10 a.m., Robert calls the South Lake Police Department and reports his son and his son's car missing. Officers meet him at the apartment complex to conduct a wellness check. The police entered Casey's apartment and tells Robert he's not here. Later that same day, at about 4 p.m., someone spotted Casey's car. It was found abandoned at a parking lot in Summit County, Utah. Now, this is about an hour away from Casey's apartment, and Robert said it was extremely unusual for Casey to have been in that area. As far as we know, he's never been there, Robert said. Now, none of Casey's belongings were found inside his car. And very strangely enough, the license plate was missing. When authorities searched Casey's car, there were no signs of foul play. Now, Robert says this license plate being missing was so strange. It appears to have been done very deliberately. Like, they weren't rushing. The screws were even put back in the car. Whoever did this really took their time to take the plates off. Now, I read several articles on this case, so I cannot confirm exactly what was found in the car. The first article I read said that the car was completely wiped clean, and it was the most recent article, that there was no evidence of DNA. None, not even Casey's, no fingerprints, nothing. And then I read another article that said a second search warrant indicated that they did find DNA in the car, but that we don't know whose it is yet. So I don't know. I don't know if there were fingerprints or DNA in this car, or if they got a hit. I feel like if they got a hit, we would have known about it by now. police posted on their Facebook page that Casey's car was abandoned off of I-80 by the Castle Rock exit near the Wyoming border. And then they said an extensive search of the area was conducted by the Summit County Sheriff's Office with search and rescue, mounted horse patrol, a drone team, and the Utah Department of Public Safety Bureau. And they also said that nothing of significance was located in this search. According to Officer Croyle, authorities are not sure if it is foul play at this time. We don't have anything to determine that behavior, Officer Croyle said. Robert told Dateline that he appreciates all of the help his family has received in the search for his son. It was searched by helicopter, it was searched by drone, Robert said, referring to the area where his son's car had been found. And a bunch of people from the Marine Corps go up there every weekend. But they still haven't found any trace of Casey. It's very unlike his character to disappear and not say anything, Robert said. We absolutely don't know what happened or where Casey is. Robert said he did not think that Casey was dating anyone, and he also noted that Casey did not have any prior mental health issues. Now, with this little information to go on, some people are wondering, as they usually do, if Casey disappeared on his own. And his father Robert said if he did a great job. But I would think and hope, of course, seeing the way that my son is, that he would have left a note. His mother Elizabeth said he never would have run away and left everything. He would never not let anyone know if he had plans for the day. And this is probably why the police are taking this very seriously. Now, Robert has set up a website dedicated to finding Casey and spreading awareness about his disappearance. On July 5th, the South Lake Police Department announced an anonymous donor had offered a $50,000 reward to anyone who provides useful information about Casey's disappearance. Casey is 6'2". He weighs around 140 pounds. He has blonde hair and gray eyes, and at the time of his disappearance, he had a goatee. He typically wears long, green Wrangler cargo pants, a t-shirt, military boots and sneakers, and a hat. Now, according to the website run by Casey's family that I got on last night, they're also still looking for his belongings. Like I said, no trace of him has been found. This website states that he always carries his Google Pixel 3 phone with a black rugged case. He also carries a Gerber brand mini tool with him. They are also looking for his keychain that would have the Suzuki key, 2 house keys, as well as numerous keys pertaining to Casey's job. He also has a memorial hanger with 2 pictures, a dark green paracord little dongle thing, you know, the ones that are wrapped like a square, and an Ulta bottle opener attached to his keychain. His black Mountain Smith backpack, which he was last seen wearing in the security footage, has also not been found yet. Now, there is a Facebook page dedicated to Casey's disappearance, and I got on that as well, and I saw one post by a stranger, I guess, and then a response from who I believe is his mother, and I wanted to share it with you. So the post says, none of his friends has any clue as to what he could have been up to that day or week, ? Had he maybe been on dating apps / played video games and met someone, ? I'm so sorry you're having to go another day without a single answer. Due to his military background, were there any kind of mental illness he was battling? And it may not fit the situation, as his car was found so far away with the plates gone. Just wondering if 8693. Now, all of those numbers will be in the description box below this video, because I know it's a lot when you're listening to me talking and stuff like that. So I will put that in the description box. I will also put the link to his family's website in the description box about Casey's disappearance, but really, there's just not a lot of information on it. There are pictures of what they believe his backpack to look like, and his keys and his keychain and all that stuff. Just for people that think they may have found something. And I will use the missing persons flyer as a thumbnail, probably, so you guys can see different pictures of Casey and his car. So, this is a strange one, guys. Sometimes I hate missing persons cases because it is so strange to me in this day and age. People can just poof. And Casey's father, Robert, said the same thing. He said people just don't go poof. But they do. And it is crazy to me how that happens with all of the CCTV footage that we have access to now, and the phones and the cell phone towers and all of this technology that we have these days. Like, those cases back in the 70s and 60s and stuff, when we didn't have this kind of technology, it doesn't surprise me quite as much, even the 90s. But, okay, so let's talk about this. Casey left his house. He clearly was intent on going to the training. He took his car with him. The details were vague, because he's seen leaving, but they don't say that they see his car leaving, and I couldn't find anything about his car at the ATM, but let's just say he took his car and he drove. He stopped at the ATM. I didn't see that footage, so I don't know if he walked up to the ATM or if he drove up to the ATM. Regardless, let's say he gets out of his car and someone robs him or steals his car. I mean, if they stole his car, wouldn't we have found Casey? I think it's very, very strange that the car was found so quickly, but yet there was no trace of Casey found anywhere. Like, I couldn't find any records of footprints, a trail, anything. I don't know how it is in Utah right now, or at that time with the weather, whether it could have been muddy or, just dusty. I don't really know. But it seems to me like it's not an area where people would park to hike or anything like that. And I would find it quite odd that Casey was doing that on that particular day, because he had that training that he clearly had not completed, because his boss then called his parents to let them know that he had not come to work. I don't know. There's something really fishy going on here. I have a tendency not to believe that people just went missing of their own accord. Almost every case that I've ever covered here on my channel that is a missing persons case, there is always at least one article that says maybe they ran off to start a new life. Here's the thing. It's really hard to just run off and start a new life without ever using any of the money from your bank account, without withdrawing all of the money from your bank account, without using your social security number ever again. And it is much, much easier to track these days. He didn't have any enemies. He wasn't dating anyone. I don't know. What do you guys think? Please definitely let me know down below if you have even heard of any news coverage on the case of Casey Bokslag, because I have not seen a single thing. Now, I am in Illinois and not in Utah, but people are found far from home many other times, and I feel like I wish that all cases got national attention like some of the other more well-known cases do, because I feel like then you get all of these armchair detectives like myself looking into these things, and you've got eyes everywhere. Like, how many people were searching for Gabby Petito with drone footage and YouTube and security cameras and all that stuff? If that many people looked for all of these missing people, they might be solved so much much sooner than some of them are, and some of them are just never, ever solved. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I know that this is a bit shorter of a case, but like I said, there just aren't that many details out there, really just the information of him going missing, and that was all I could find despite numerous articles.